into hell to be forgotten, right? And sorrows are past, and the earth is showed the treasures of immortality. Therefore ask no more questions concerning the multitude that will perish, man. So Moses said it to Ezra, man, don't worry about these dudes that are going to perish, man. Right? So even within the elect of Israel, there's going to be masses and masses are going to be destroyed, man. The Most High is going to do away with them. How much more so, how much less mercy is the Most High going to have upon the heathen, man? Right? It says, for when they had taken liberty to despise the Most High and thought scorn of his law, right? And forsook his ways. Now with that, let me jump to Proverbs, the 1st chapter and the 20th verse. And it says, I'm going to start on the 7th verse. I'm going to touch on the 7th verse, because the 7th verse, because it's wisdom, the 1st chapter and the 7th verse. It says, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, right? But the fools hate wisdom and destruction, right? So that basically goes to show you a lot of our people are fools, man, right? More so, how much more so the people in the world, man, right? They do their own worldly thing, but like it says, the scripture says, the scripture said it best, man, right? The Most High counted up the hours is a very good thing, man. They ain't insignificant to the Most High, man, right? The only thing that really matters in this society is the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, right? And it ain't no pseudo-black thing, man. It's about that gene, like it says in Romans, the 9th chapter. It's about the seed, man. It's according to the flesh, right? It says, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but the fools despise wisdom and instruction. Right, and let me jump to the 20th verse. It says, wisdom crieth without, she uttereth a voice in the streets. Right, she crieth in the chief places of concourse, in the openings of the gates. Right, in the city she uttereth her voice, saying, right, how long you simple ones will you love simplicity? Right, and we ready that these simple dudes gonna love simplicity for, right up until this kingdom is gonna be destroyed, man. Right, Isaiah said it best when he said, how long, Lord, man. Right, the Most High said to the cities be laid waste. So these simple Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans gonna stay simple, gonna stay loving Lil Wayne and 50 Cent or whatever these kids be into these days, man. Whatever, you know, people of my so-called generation and the years below, man. Whatever they into, man, iPads and iPhones and all of that shit, they gonna stay into that, right? Right up until the cities be laid waste, man. Right, just like how you see in this society being destroyed right before their face, man. All right. It says, how long you simple ones will you love simplicity, right? And scorners delight in scorning, and the fools hate knowledge, right? And it's the same point it was you've seen in 2nd Ezra, the 15th, rather more the 8th chapter. It says, right? Turn you at my reproof, and behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you, and I'll make known my words unto you. And who's going to turn at the reproof for the Most High, man? Only the elect is going to turn at the reproof. He's going to turn at the reproof for the Most High, right? Because they already been predestinated for the foundation of the earth, right? To turn at the reproof of the Most High, right? It says, turn you at my reproof, and behold, I will pour my spirit unto you, and I will make known my words unto you. So the Most High is going to make his words known unto you. You can't just open these scriptures and get them, man. Right? You're going to pray for them understanding. And it's still then the Most High might pull that spirit from you, man. Right? Turn you at my reproof, and behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you, and I'll make known my words unto you. Right? Because I have called and ye have refused, and I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded, right? And that's why that goes back into like Hosea, the 4th chapter and the 16th verse, right? Where it talks about the, you know, let me pull it out. In fact, this is gonna be Hosea, the book of Hosea. The 4th chapter and the 6th verse, rather more. It says, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, right? So just because the Most High pulled out his hand unto you and you didn't want to know about it, right? Most High said it, hey, you destroyed for lack of knowledge, man. Right? My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest unto me. And it says, seeing that thou hast forgotten the law of the Most High, right? Which part of the law is coming out here and teaching this truth is being instant, in season, out of season, man. Right, hastening in the day. That's part of the instructions that the Most High sent forth, man. Right, and it says you don't do that. It says I will also forget thy children. So a lot of you dudes in IUIC and we know that there's gonna be elect within IUIC and all of these different camps, man. Right, but the main focus and the main point, right, is the fact that a lot of you dudes gonna be destroyed, man. Right, it says. I'm going to read that from the top. It says, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, right? That thou shalt be no priest unto me. It says, seeing that thou hast forgotten the law of the Most High, I will also forget thy children. So all of these dudes are forgetting the Lord, right? And they get into, caught up into this society and all of that, man. Right? And forgotten about the Most High, Isaiah, all of that, man. Right? The Most High is going to forget you and he's going to forget your children, man. You're going to be destroyed in that thing, right? That's back in Proverbs, the first chapter and the 24th verse. And it says, because I have called and ye have refused, I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded, right? But ye have set not all of my counsel and would none of my reproof. Also, I will also laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. So the Most High said he's going to laugh at your calamity, man. Right? It says, I will also laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. When your fear cometh as a desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, brother-more, right? And when your distress and anguish cometh upon you, right? And what's that going to prove, man? The Most High is not only going to destroy this kingdom, but the Most High is going to humor side as well. He's going to be hilarious. He's going to be entertaining with his destruction, man. Right? But even more so than that, he said it best in Isaiah the 63rd chapter, 63rd chapter on down, where he talks about him being terrible in his destruction, drunken in his anger. Right? It says, I will also laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. When your fear cometh as a desolation, right? And your destruction cometh as a whirlwind. When destruction and anguish cometh upon you, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. So you're going to remember the real name of the Most High in that day, man. It ain't going to be Jehovah, man. You're actually going to remember the words, man. Right? And the Most High ain't going to hear it. Right? It says, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. Right? For they hated knowledge and did not choose to fear the Lord. Right? They would none of my counsel and despise all my reproof. And who's going to do that? Right? The people that ain't going to be the elect, man. The same people that come up with scorn against the men of the Lord right now, man. Right? The Most High is going to laugh at their calamity when the time for the destruction comes, man. Right? It says, therefore shall they eat off the fruit of their own way. Right? Right? And they shall be filled in their own devices. For the turning away of the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of the fool shall destroy them. So all of that money you do is be getting in society is going to destroy them. Right? Like it says here, right, the turning away of the simple, right, it's going to destroy them too, man. Right, now it's going to be back in 2nd Ezra, the 8th chapter, and the 55th verse. And it says, and therefore ask no more questions as concerning the multitude that will perish. When they had taken liberty, they despised the Most High, right, and thought scorn of his law, and forsook his ways. Right. Moreover, they have trodden down the righteous, right, which these dudes pretty much try to tread down the righteous, man. Right, but you ain't gonna be able to do that because you had the example when the disciples were preaching, right? And it was, the Romans at the time pretty much said something to the effect of, if this wasn't of the, if it wasn't of the Most High, it would come to naught, man. Right? And you seeing this thing growing and growing, man. It ain't gonna come to naught, man. You got, camps of great millstone all over the world, man. Right? It ain't gonna come to naught. Right? It says, for when they had taken liberty, they despised the Most High and thought scorn of his law and forsook his ways. And moreover, they have trodden down the righteous and said in their heart, right, that there is no God. Yea, that knowing that they must die. For as these things aforesaid shall receive you, so thirst and pains are prepared for them. So just like how this world is prepared for the elect of the Most High, man, so is all kind of destruction and sorrow prepared for the scorners of our people, man. Alright? It says, so thirst and pain are prepared for them, so it shall not be, it was not his will that men should come to naught. And that was a similar point that the man was pulling out a little bit earlier on, man. Right? It wasn't the word of the Most High that we're going to be destroyed, but we are upon the Lord's such commandments of the Most High, man. These different nations didn't receive the Lord's such commandments of the Most High. He didn't make a covenant with them. Right? There was always going to be tributaries, or rather more. That's too kind of a word. They were always going to be subject underneath the Israelites, which are the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans. We're always supposed to be subject. I mean, they were going to be destroyed from time to time, man. We was going to do with them what we wanted to do, bro. Right? Now it says, um, but they which were created have defiled the name of him that made them, right? And were unthankful unto him which prepared light for them, right? And therefore his judgment is now at hand. These things have I not showed unto all men, but unto a few. So the Most High has only showed this truth unto a few, man. Right there in the scripture goes to show you how precious the truth is. But more so than that, it goes to show you how in short supply the truth is going to be. Right? You ain't going to find the truth by opening up a book and just decide I'm going to find the truth, man. The Most High has to be dealing with you in the first place. And more so than that, you have to be selected from the foundation of the earth, man. Right? It says, but unto thee, right, and a few like thee, and thence answered I, right, behold, O Lord, now hast thou showed me the multitude of the wonders which thou wilt begin to do in the latter times, right? But at what time thou hast not showed me, right? It says, and he answered me then and said, measure thou the times diligently in itself, right? And when thou seest part of signs past, which I have told thee, and what are some of the times, you know, the signs that we have been shown, right? Some of the signs that you've been shown is the fact that you're gonna see all kind of celestial or activity happening, right? You know, solar eclipse and all that kind of stuff, right? You was gonna see a weather that you have never seen, which you saw a couple of days in London, all of that. That was, you know, that was a beautiful thing. That was a sign of the Most High returning, man. Right? You was gonna see this, the financial system breaking down and falling to pieces. Right? Like it says in Isaiah when it talks about, sit down in the dust of the Chaldeans, man. I was talking about this society breaking down, man, because this society is spearheaded by America, and if America falls, man, all these different nations shall fall, man. Right? Now it says, measure thou the times diligently in itself, right? And when thou seest parts of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest, right, shall begin to visit the earth. Now I'm going to jump to Mark 13th chapter and the 8th verse.
It's just simple things.
Alright, it's going to be the book of Mark, right, the 13th chapter, the 8th verse, and it says, I'm almost start on the second chapter, second verse. It's Mark 13 and 2, and it says, and Yahweh answering said unto him, seest thou these great buildings? It shall not be left one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down, right? And I'm gonna jump to the 4th verse, and this goes to prove to to the men of the Lord were hating the day. They said unto him, tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the signs when all these things shall be fulfilled? So he was basically saying the same thing that Ezra was supposed to say, how is it, what's gonna be the signs, or when is it gonna be, or how is it gonna, basically pop up? Right? It says, when shall these things be, and what shall be the signs, right? When these things shall be fulfilled? And Yahweh answering began to say, take heed lest any man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying I am Christ, and shall deceive many. But when you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, of which we're in the time of rumors of wars right now, man. Right, we're in the time of wars and rumors of wars. Right, that's point one. Right, be ye not troubled, for such things must needs be. Right, for the end shall not be yet. For nation shall rise up against nation, kingdom against kingdom. Right, and they shall meet earthquakes in different places, and shall be famines and troubles. These are the beginnings of sorrow. Right, so that's when that was going to be part of the signs of things coming to pass, man. Right, earthquakes and all kind of natural disasters and all of that, wars and rumors of wars. Right, and it's back in the book of 2nd Ezra, the 9th chapter on the 3rd verse, and says, therefore when they shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, same thing I've spoken of in the 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter, right? Then shalt thou well understand that the Most High that the Most High spoke of those things from the days that were before thee, right? Even from the beginning, for like as all that is made in the world hath the beginning and the end, right? And the end is manifest. Even so, also the highest have plain beginnings and wonders and powerful works and the endings and effects, right? Everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape the works. And what's one of those works? That's the instrument of destruction, man, those ICBMs, right? That's going to be one of those works that the Most High is going to use to flourish and use for the destruction of society, right? Everyone that shall be saved, right, everyone shall be saved, shall be able to escape by works and by faith, right, whereby ye have believed, shall be preserved from the set perils, right, and shall see the salvation in my land, right, and within my borders, for I have sanctified them, right, for me from the beginning, right, and you know, pretty much that's a good point to pretty much wrap everything up. So just like how you've seen, you know, through the spirit, you know, how, you know, different individuals come up to, you know, to the camp and said different points, and you know, when it comes down to it, it's about Israel, right, and it's about the elect, man. The Most High ain't dealing with all the, you know, these, all of these, you know, Tom, Dick, and Harry, man. Right? He's dealing with the elect, and more so, you know, he's dealing with Israel, and more specifically, he's dealing with the elect within Israel, right? Which the, you know, the real Israelites are the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans. The scriptures clearly points out to that, right? Now, pretty much with that, we'll sign out, say double honors to the elders, GMS, honest you brothers up and pushing this truth in sincerity. Shalom.